Hi there, this is my BYOGuitar Flying V kit, completed Flying V, and I think it turned out really well. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's some nice like figuring and like almost like a flame look going on with the wood. Really nice looking stain that came with this kit. I bought the Wudtone Stain that they offer, and it gave me a really professional look, which is one of the reasons why I had never built a kit guitar before. I was worried about painting it. I knew you were gonna like need a spray booth, and I had painted these. I built these clone pedals. This is a Distortion Plus, and this is a Fuzz Face, and I used rattle cans for those. And I know guys can get really good results with those, but it didn't look great. And I was picturing building a guitar and then not being happy with the paint job or whatever, and aesthetically not happy with it, and it distracting me and making it where I can't bond with the instrument. The Wudtone Stain ended up turning out great, and it's very professional, very easy to do. I had zero experience building guitars, zero experience staining guitars, and the stain was really easy. You can do it inside, and you don't need any special tools. So I thought that was really cool. The color that I picked was called Cherry Flamenco, and it looks kind of like an SG. It's like a kind of like a really nice kind of Gibson color. I don't know how it's photographing, but it looks very similar to the faded cherry and the SG that you see on the Gibson guitars, and it feels really good. So when you order the kit right out of the box, it was a 3-piece mahogany body, looked really good. Like I said, nice figuring on it, just a really nice piece of wood. The neck looked fantastic. Neck has got a heel joint here, or heel piece that is glued on that goes into the neck pocket, and it has up here some kind of joint, where you can see these two pieces added onto this piece here. But a really nice piece of mahogany. The fretboard is made of engineered rosewood, which I believe is pine. And it's a darker fretboard, looks more like ebony to me than rosewood, and plays like ebony. It feels very similar to this Les Paul Custom. The entire neck profile has kind of like that 60s slimline feel to it. Jumbo frets were level. Very impressive, like I said, because I ended up calling BYOGuitar, because before I hit buy, I wanted to just talk to somebody and have a few questions answered. They told me about the stain, they told me about the kits, and basically from what I could gather, what they do is they get the kits from China, but they actually vet the kit. They make sure that everything is in the kit that's supposed to be in the kit, that the wood is good, that the neck is straight, those kinds of things, that all the screws are there, that all the parts are there. So as opposed to just ordering it directly from China and not knowing what you're getting, you get like a little bit more assurance. And then as far as what comes with the kit, it's ready to build, and you can build it with everything that comes in the guitar, and it'll be fine. You'll have a good guitar, I think, at the end for a pretty good price. You can decide if you want to upgrade. And when you go to the site, you'll notice that there's a page there, and it's very simple to upgrade. And they give you choices like if you want to upgrade the nut, for instance, you want to upgrade the bridge, you want to get new pickups, you want to get whatever you want to do, you can upgrade it. You could build it as is if you're trying to save money. I don't know that building a kit guitar is the easiest way to save money. I don't know if you would build it to save money. I built it to have the experience, and to learn. And I built it so that I could kind of customize a guitar. But if you don't have a lot of money and you want to build it exactly as it comes, you're going to have a very fine guitar that you can later upgrade piece by piece. So let's say you build it as is, and then over time you want to switch out the pickups or the pots or the switches or the jacks or the bridge or the nut or whatever it is, the tuning machine heads, whatever it is, you'll be able to see each improvement as you do it. You'll learn something, and you'll spend less money probably that way. If you already know what you're going to want to change, for me, I was pretty sure that I was going to upgrade the bridge, because the bridge that it comes with, we'll go over what it comes with. It comes with a standard kind of like Epiphone style, like Asian import bridge that have the little retaining clip on them, the little wire that travels on the outside to hold the saddles down, and those rattle. So I took the wire off, but it was still making noise, and just didn't sound too good. And then when I got this Goto and put that on there, it was perfect. It made a huge improvement. So I highly recommend Goto bridges, and they're not very expensive. I think it was like $25 to get this bridge, which was a major upgrade. I also upgraded the original nut. It comes with a plastic nut. I will say that if you're going to upgrade the nut, you're going to have to get your hands dirty, and you got to be careful because you can mess your neck up. You have to carefully remove it so that you don't remove any wood from the neck. So that takes a little bit of effort. So if you're worried about that, you can just play it as it is until you can afford to take it to your tech and have him switch it out for you if you want to do that. So it comes with pickups. Didn't come with these. These are P94s by Guitar Madness. I got these on eBay. $26 shipped, and they sound fantastic. I've been on a single coil kick lately and always wanted a guitar with P90s or a P94 type of derivative like these. And what these are is essentially a P90 type of pickup, a single coil pickup. Not exactly like a P90. It's a little different because the housing has a lot to do with the sound. But it's shaped like a humbucker, and these are basically a direct copy of the Gibsons. They're just way cheaper, and they sound fantastic. I've got no problems with them. I'm really excited about those pickups. But these are the pickups it comes with, these humbuckers here. They are uncovered humbuckers, high output. I measured them. I forgot what they were, but it was above 50. It was like 15 point something. So they're high output humbuckers, which is what usually comes with Flying V's, if that's what you're looking for. The wiring, it comes with a modern wiring kit, modern wiring style. You get 3 mini pots. Use as many pots because there's not tons of room in this route here. So I upgraded to Bjorn mini pots, and boy, those are fantastic. They feel really good. They're really smooth. These feel fine. They're fine. I just think the Bjorns it was worth upgrading on those. But if you want to use the wiring that comes with it, let's say you don't have a lot of experience with electronics, it's already wired up. All you got to do is solder the jack, and you've got to solder actually the switch is on here as well. And I upgraded the switch too with the Switchcraft. So those are just sticklers for me. When I play live, I want to be sure that I've got the best quality switch. I also want to make sure I have the best quality jack. So I upgraded both of those to Switchcraft. I also upgraded the cap to an orange drop. That's just what I'm used to using. And I actually wired this with the 50s wiring style instead of the modern wiring style. I like the reciprocal relationship that you get with the volume and tone. Put little pointers on here. So I think that looks really cool. It comes with this sort of Jackson style pick guard, which gives you a little more metal on it. I think it works. And I like it because it leaves more wood open. The Gibson one, there's one Gibson one that comes like in between here, and then there's another one, I think the 70s Gibson version, or maybe 80s, comes down and covers like all the wood here. And I like leaving all this wood open because it looks so nice. So I like this pickguard like this. It also doesn't get in the way of my Duesenberg trim. And comes with this truss rod cover. It looks like another Jackson type part. The tuning machine heads, these actually came with the kit. I did not upgrade these. If they give me any trouble, I will upgrade them, but they seem fine. They turn smoothly. They're not too stiff and they're not too loose. But like I said, if they start making noise or do anything weird, I'm gonna upgrade them. Tuning machine heads usually do okay for me. It's not an obsession of mine, but I definitely wanted to change out that bridge. I definitely wanted to change out these pickups. I definitely wanted to put my own pots on. And I used these Gibson style top hat reflector knobs as opposed to the speed knobs that came with the kit, which I think the speed knobs are cool. I've got no problem with the speed knobs. I just ended up liking these hats better. It looks more like the Gibson. And I like the way it has the volume and tone in line as opposed to in a group like the 70s V has. So I like all the bits that came with it. You get this little poker chip scratch guard as well for the jack. But it comes with these speed knobs. And these look actually really good. You'll be able to see the picture on the site. it looks great. So if you want to go that direction, they come with those. And they're the kind that you just sort of push on the knurled shaft of the pot. And I can't say enough about those Bjorn pots. I think they're fantastic. And I can't say enough about the Wudtone Stain. The Wudtone Stain goes on in 3 coats, and then you have like a top coat at the end. And that's for this particular color. They're all different. But for the Cherry Flamenco, if you want this kind of faded cherry, if you're going to do a Flying V or an SG and you want this this color, it comes in 3 coats. So essentially what happens is you sand the wood. You sand it. I started with 220. Did a little bit of sanding with 320. I didn't want to over sand, and I did not use any filler. So this is just the mahogany with this like open grain. And then I started with the cherry. And what you get, like I said, you get 3 of these. Let me see if I can find it here. You get your first coat, and that has the most color. And you just kind of basically like rag it on with I used a piece of a white t-shirt. So you just kind of rag on the first coat. That's got to sit for a day. You do another coat, maybe another one, 2, 3. I think I did 3 of the first coat. Then, second coat, I did 2 coats of this because there's a point where the guitar just seems like it's not going to take any more stain. It's just sort of moving stain on the guitar, and it's not really sinking into the wood. So I stopped at 2 coats on the second one. And then finally, the third coat, I did, I think I did like 4 or 5 coats to the third one. And then I did 4 coats of the top gloss at the end. I basically did all of the top gloss. I did almost all of the stain is on the guitar. There's a couple of them, and I left a little bit for touch-ups because if you scratch the guitar or nick the guitar and you're not trying to do the relicking thing, you want to keep it in kind of like original newish condition, it's really easy to touch the stain up. I mean, you can build it back up just like original. And I've had several little dings that I've already repaired, and you literally cannot tell. It's fantastic. So if you're going for that. And then the other thing that was kind of something that happened along the way that I discovered that I wanted to share with any potential builders out there that are thinking about building a guitar was using hide glue. So this is some high clarity hide glue I purchased off of eBay, and it comes in this bag. I can't remember how many ounces this is, maybe like 4 ounces or something like that. I can't remember. But essentially what you do is, and this would be plenty to do a guitar, to set a neck. So basically what I did is I poured some into this baby food jar, then you put a little water in and mix it up until it becomes like a liquid, and then you heat it up. I basically just filled up a pan with some water and put it in there and just kind of stirred it. And what you're looking for is to heat it up to like a honey type consistency. And then once you get that, you basically just paint it in the neck pocket, put your neck in, and it acts a lot like a lubricant. I mean, it just goes right in the pocket, nice and smooth. And any kind of like overspill is easy to clean up because hide glue is actually very water soluble. And water is enough of a solvent to just wipe it right away. So I was really into the hide glue, and I think that the hide glue does something to transfer sound better. Between that and the stain, you get a really, really resonant guitar that just vibrates for days. I mean, like when I have this guitar connected to my body and I'm playing it, I really, really can feel it. It's just vibrating, and it's so resonant and so alive. And one of the things that's become important to me is for electric guitars to sound and play really well acoustically. So it's become the way I've sort of judge a guitar, whether I'm going to like it or not, is if it plays really well, if it's nice and loud and dynamic, and if it doesn't make a lot of fret buzz, and the bridge isn't making any noise, and the nut's not making any noise, and the tuning machines aren't buzzing. I want a quiet guitar. I don't want to hear any noise. I don't want to hear a lot of fret buzz. So lately I've been playing with a higher action. I've been playing with 11 NYXLs, 11 through 52s. So I'm using a heavier gauge, and I'm just really enjoying the transference of this loud, like sort of dynamic sound and the feeling of this guitar. And I really think that the stain, the fact that there's not like a lot of paint covering the body, is allowing the guitar to resonate and to vibrate the way it should when you hit a musical note. And I think the hide glue does something to transmit sound that's really something special. I used just a little dab of super glue. I tried to use hide glue on the nut, but it doesn't dry fast enough, and I could tell that it wasn't as permanent as the super glue, and that was one of the little difficulties I had. To me, the whole build comes down to the relationship between the nut and the bridge and the action on the neck. The truss rod adjusting on this neck worked beautifully. The neck adjusts just right. It intonates, it holds tune. And to me, that's really the whole deal on a guitar. If it vibrates and has a lot of good resonance, if it stays in tune and it doesn't make any noise, it's a winner. So I consider this guitar to be a good working guitar. I can take it out on the road. I can take it and play shows. I can record with it. I can do everything I could do with a guitar that I would buy from, like, say, Gibson or Fender. So I'm very excited, and it's put me on a path of more creation. It's like when you make your own guitar, when you write songs, when you play music and you put those types of things into the air, I think that it's good for the soul. It gives you something magical that you can't quite put a finger on, that it doesn't occur when you just say buy something, when you just buy a guitar, when you actually build a guitar. There's some of you in this thing, and it really helps build a relationship between you and the instrument. I feel like I've really bonded with this thing, and I understand it now, and I'm really glad that I did it. The only other thing that I did that did not come with the kit, that was just an extra that I personally wanted to do, was to add the Duesenberg, because I've been really into having trim on my guitars lately. And that was $100. It was like $70 plus $30 to ship it. I think it came from Germany through Thomann, I think. And this is really cool. It's kind of like a Bigsby meets a Strat trim. It has the spring on the outside here, like a Bigsby. And I kind of set it up flat, like sort of like the way Neil Young does his Bigsby. And I really, really like it. It's very simple to use. No screw holes, no modifications for the guitar. The pick guard didn't get in the way. It's just barely, sitting there close to it, but not being a bother. And it, what you basically do is you just attach it to where the stop bar would go using. It comes with the stud anchors, and you just take the ones out that would be there for the stop piece. In my case, I never installed those because I put this on first. But I'm really happy with the Duesenberg. It's very inexpensive, and like I said, you don't have to modify the guitar. You can take it on or off with a string change. So say I decided to go to have it in non-trim state for a show or for a recording session or whatever I was going to do with it. I could literally take it off, change the strings, put a stop piece on, and have a non-trim guitar. And next time around, I decide I want trim, do the same thing. So it's very versatile, and I'm really happy that I chose this particular trim for my project. So the P94s, like I said, I'm going through a single coil phase, and I think there's just a lot of clarity with the Born pots, the single coil P94s, the Duesenberg. Really, really turned out well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you guys hear it through an amplifier. I'm going to play it through my 18-watt 4x12 Celestians at my space, so that you can hear it in all of its glory. So off to the bat cave I go. So I made it to the space, and there was one other upgrade I did to the guitar. I upgraded the strap buttons where you connect the strap to the guitar. These are Klusons, and I upgraded them because I have a tendency to thrash around and move around a lot on stage, and this gives me a little extra security. I know that these are durable and dependable. Now the other ones are fine, I'm sure, and you could put them on your guitar and have no worries. It was just a thing for me. They're not expensive to upgrade, so I did that little upgrade as well. The other thing about the placement of the strap buttons, this is a thing that comes up in Flying V land. The world of Flying V guitars, people have different opinions about this, because some people feel like when you put it here, or just because of the way it falls on their body or their strap or just them as a person, they're getting neck dive. Like the guitar is just dropping down on them, which can be really annoying. It's not happening to me in this position so much. I don't know if it's the way I use the strap. I don't know if it's the style of strap or just how it falls on my body, but I don't have a lot of that. And I also find that I tend to kind of, use my leg as leverage and sort of wrapping myself around the guitar, which is really cool because it's sort of forcing me into that classical position, which I'm usually too lazy to be in. So I really like that aspect of it. So I'm not so worried about it being down here. I actually like it. It seems like the strap, when you're drilling the hole for this strap button, what I did was I figured out how high the Gibson was. I can't remember, but it's close to like 2 inches from the edge. And then I just matched that. It seems like that's what Gibson was doing. It looks nice to me. I don't like having a strap button here because it throws off the symmetrical nature of the shoulders, you know? So I put it here, which most Flying V's have it like that. Some of the original ones will have it up here on the shoulder. It's personal preference. Everyone has different ideas about what they want to do, how they want to have the strap buttons. So you'll see guys put them here. You'll see guys bring it all the way up into here. And then online, I even saw a picture of a guy who had put his second strap button right about here, like on the back of the guitar. So you had one here on the back of the guitar and one here, because that's how it felt best to him, sort of sitting like right here. It makes perfect sense. It would seem like it would hang the guitar, you know, exactly where your body is, like right in the middle. So that's an upgrade, and that is a little something on those strap buttons. Those are the kind of little things that come up that end up, you know, making you do a lot of Google searches. So that's what I ended up doing with the strap buttons. Now, today, what I want to do is just a little demo to let you hear what it sounds like. I'm really excited about the way it sounds, the way it turned out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug directly in from the Flying V into the 18-watt head. Now, this is the 18-watt GDS kit amp that I built. It's an 18-watt circuit in the form of a head. And this particular amp does not have a tone stack. It has a tone knob, which I've got like at about the 5 position, and it has a volume knob, which I've got all the way up to 10. I usually play this turned all the way up. A lot of times I'll have this tone knob all the way up to 10, but with this guitar, right down the middle seems about right. I get a lot of power and good bass and treble response, at least the amount that my ears want to hear. This here is a trim channel, and so I'm not going to use that today, but it sounds gorgeous. So maybe I'll do another video where I have some other guitars and we'll play through that trim channel and just let you see how nice it is. Okay, so from there, from the 18-watt head, it's going directly into this 4x12. The 4x12 is loaded with obviously 4 12-inch speakers, 2 of them being Celestion and 2 of them being warehouse speakers. The warehouse speakers are essentially the variants of the Celestion style. They're British sort of voice speakers that match the Celestion lineup, and I think they're really good. And then on the ceramic side, I got 2 G12H30s. So for the ceramic sound sort of gives me like more clarity, more punch, more of a direct sort of hit on the note. You know, you get that front edge, and I like that. But then the Alnico gives me sort of this euphonic, soft distortion over the top. Maybe not as big of an attack, maybe not as round of a note, maybe not as detailed as a note, but a very euphonic, soft purr. And you put those two together, you put the ceramic punch with the purr of the Alnico, and you have a really nice combination. So I've been really happy with that. And then what I'm doing here is I'm miking them about 8 inches out, equidistant, so we don't have phase issues, with these Cascade fathead ribbon mics. And from the microphones, I'm going directly to a Zoom R24. I'm going to record it flat as much as possible. I'm just going to record it without any EQ, and basically try to make it sound like it sounds in the room, or let you hear what it sounds like in the room. This is I think a very nice transparent way to record guitar. So anyway, I'm just going to play through a few things just so you can get a feel for the way it sounds. I'm going to start on the bridge pickup. We'll move to the neck pickup, and then I'll do something, you know, with the two of them together and let you hear how the pickups sound. I think these Guitar Madness pickups are fantastic. They sound really good. They sound very dynamic, and I just think they're really good. And for $26 shipped, it's hard to beat them. So anyway, remember, these pickups are ceramic as well. So I've got ceramic speakers, I've got Alnico speakers, and I've got ceramic pickups. And I think it all kind of works together. It just depends on what you're trying to achieve. That's when you'll make these types of decisions. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on and let it rip. I'm going to turn this all the way up to 10. Play a few chords. Okay, now I'm going to play something with the two pickups combined. So I'm going to bring the switch up into the middle position, just play a few notes there, some chords and single notes, just to give you an idea what that sounds like with the two pickups together, and I've got everything turned all the way up. Of course, you could dial this in a certain way, like you could roll this one off some and turn this one all the way up, or vice versa, and you could also play around with the tone knob. I'm going to turn everything up to 10. Okay, now I'm going to do a little demo in the neck pickup. Now remember, these measure about the same, but because this is lower, you can't pick up a neck pickup as high as you can a bridge pickup. With the bridge pickup, you can get it pretty high. I've got mine just like a little more than a pick's worth between the strings and the top of the pickup, because I want as much output as possible, much power as I can get out of these single coils. But the you can't do that with this neck one, because you would fret out your strings. Your strings would hit the pickup and it would create a disturbance. So you got to keep it lower, which lowers the output. And typically neck pickups are voiced with a little more like bass response, a little softer voicing. But it has a little bit of a softer delivery. So, but a thicker, kind of more sludgy delivery. So if that's what you're kind of trying to go for, you want to get like a fatter, thicker sound for leads, or for like a nasty chord or whatever, the neck pickup is really good. And of course, you're going to play clean or jazz or blues, it's truly your friend. Okay, and now one more little thing in the bridge pickup, just to bring it back to that. So, in closing, I just want to offer some encouragement to anyone out there thinking about building a guitar. Going into it, I had no experience, and I feel like I learned a lot, and it was really fun. So, I just want to encourage you to give it a try. You got nothing to lose, and you'll learn more about the instrument, and you'll be able to make something that's yours, that represents your sound and just your style. So, I just want to encourage everyone to build things, make things, be creative, and have fun. Listen, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.